When someone first asked me dementia, what is it? I thought I knew the answer. That was before I spent 3.5 years caring for my own loved one, learning every day what this condition really means for families like yours and mine. I'm not a doctor. I don't have medical certifications. But what I do have is real experience, the kind that comes from sleepless nights, countless doctor visits, and the daily reality of watching someone you love navigate this challenging journey. Over these years, I've done extensive research to understand what we were facing, and I want to share that knowledge with you in plain, practical terms. If you're here because someone you care about has been diagnosed with dementia, or you're seeing changes that worry you, you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about what dementia really is, beyond the medical textbooks. We'll cover the early warning signs I wish I'd recognized sooner, the different stages you might encounter, and the various types of dementia that affect millions of families. This isn't medical advice. Always consult with your doctor for professional guidance. But what I can offer you is the practical understanding I've gained, the research I've done, and the compassionate support of someone who's walked this path. Let's explore dementia together so you can feel more prepared for whatever lies ahead. Dementia isn't just about forgetting where you put your keys. When I first started this journey, I thought memory loss was the whole story. But dementia is actually an umbrella term for a group of symptoms that affect thinking, memory, and social abilities severely enough to interfere with daily life. Think of your brain like a well-organized library. In dementia, it's as if someone is gradually removing books, rearranging the filing system, and sometimes turning off sections of lights. The information might still be there, but accessing it becomes increasingly difficult. The key word here is progressive. Dementia gets worse over time, which was one of the hardest truths I had to accept. It affects multiple cognitive functions, not just memory, but also reasoning, language, problem solving, and even personality. I watched my loved ones struggle with tasks they'd done effortlessly for decades. What surprised me most was learning that dementia isn't a normal part of aging. Yes, our brains change as we get older, but the severe changes of dementia are caused by diseases or injuries to the brain. Currently, over 55 million people worldwide live with dementia, and that number grows by nearly 10 million new cases each year. Understanding this helped me shift my perspective. Instead of getting frustrated when my loved one couldn't remember our conversation from an hour earlier, I began to see it as their brain working as hard as it could with the resources it had available. This wasn't about willpower or trying harder. This was about a medical condition that required patience, understanding, and proper support. Looking back, there were signs I missed or explained away. I want to share these with you because early recognition can make a real difference in getting proper care and planning for the future. Memory loss that disrupts daily life is often the first sign people notice. But here's what I learned. It's not just any memory loss. We all forget things occasionally. The red flag is when someone repeatedly asks the same questions, forgets recently learned information, or increasingly relies on memory aids for things they used to remember easily. Changes in planning or problem-solving abilities caught me off guard. My loved one, who had managed household finances for years, suddenly couldn't follow a familiar recipe or keep track of monthly bills. Tasks that require concentration became overwhelming. Confusion with time or place became more frequent. They'd lose track of dates, seasons, or where they were. Sometimes they'd forget how they arrived somewhere or why they were there. This was particularly frightening because it meant they could become lost in familiar places. I also noticed changes in visual perception. Difficulty reading, judging distance, or determining color contrast led to problems with driving and walking. They'd reach for objects and miss or have trouble navigating stairs. New problems with words in speaking or writing emerged gradually. They'd stop mid-conversation, struggling to find the right word. Or call things by the wrong name. Following conversations became harder for them. Misplacing things happened more often, and they'd put items in unusual places. More concerning was when they'd accuse others of stealing when they couldn't find something. Decreased judgment became apparent in their decisions, especially regarding money. They fell for telephone scams they would have easily recognized before. Perhaps most heartbreaking were the changes in mood and personality. Increased confusion, suspicion, depression, fear, or anxiety became more common, especially when outside their comfort zone. If you're seeing several of these signs, don't wait. Early intervention can help maintain quality of life longer and give families more time to plan and prepare. Before we continue, I want to ask you a favor. If this information is helping you understand what you or your family might be facing, please click that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your engagement helps this content reach more families who desperately need this information, just like I needed it several years ago. Understanding the stages of dementia helped me prepare for what was coming, even though everyone's journey is unique. Generally, dementia progresses through 3 main stages. Some will tell you there are 7, though the timeline varies greatly from person to person. Early stage dementia is when symptoms are mild, and the person can often still live independently. They might need reminders for appointments or help with complex tasks like managing finances, but they're still very much themselves. This stage can last several years, and it's when many families struggle with denial or hope it's just normal aging. Moderate stage dementia brings more noticeable changes. Daily activities become challenging, and supervision becomes necessary. Communication difficulties increase, and behavioral changes often emerge. This is typically the longest stage and when most families seek additional support or consider care facilities. Late-stage dementia requires around-the-clock care. Communication becomes very limited, and assistance is needed for basic activities like eating, bathing, and mobility. Physical complications often develop during this stage. What I wish someone had told me is that these stages aren't rigid steps. My loved one had good days and difficult days throughout each stage. Some abilities remained strong while others declined rapidly. The progression isn't always linear, and holding on to hope while being realistic about the future became a daily balance I had to learn. Understanding these stages helped me advocate better for appropriate care and make important decisions while my loved one could still participate in the planning process. When doctors first mentioned different types of dementia, I was overwhelmed. I thought dementia was just one condition. Learning about the various types helped me understand why treatments and symptoms can vary so much between families. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type, accounting for 60–80% of dementia cases. It's characterized by the buildup of proteins in the brain that damage nerve cells. Memory loss is typically the first symptom, but it affects multiple brain functions over time. Vascular dementia, the second most common type, results from reduced blood flow to the brain, often after strokes or other conditions affecting circulation. Symptoms can appear suddenly after a stroke or develop gradually. Lewy body dementia involves abnormal protein deposits and often includes visual hallucinations, movement problems similar to Parkinson's disease, and fluctuating cognitive abilities throughout the day. Frontotemporal dementia primarily affects personality, behavior, and language. It typically occurs at younger ages than Alzheimer's and can be particularly challenging for families because the changes in personality can be dramatic. Mixed dementia means having more than one type simultaneously, which is more common than many people realize. There are also other less common types, each with their own characteristics and progression patterns. Getting an accurate diagnosis matters because different types may respond to different treatments and require different care approaches. I'll be creating separate videos diving deeper into each type because understanding your specific situation can help you provide better care and know what to expect as the condition progresses. Knowledge became my greatest tool in this journey. The more I understood about dementia, the better I could advocate for my loved one and make informed decisions about their care. Yes, dementia is progressive and currently incurable. but that doesn't mean hopeless. There are medications that can slow progression for some people. There are therapies that can maintain quality of life. There are strategies that can help with communication and behavior challenges. Most importantly, there are still meaningful moments to be shared. Some of my most precious memories with my loved one happened after their diagnosis. We learned to connect in new ways, to appreciate simpler pleasures, and to focus on comfort and joy rather than what was lost. Research continues advancing every day. Clinical trials are ongoing. Support systems are improving. The dementia care community is growing stronger and more knowledgeable. Your journey will be unique, but you don't have to walk it alone. Connect with local support groups, work closely with healthcare providers, and don't hesitate to ask for help when you need it. Remember, taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, and your loved one needs you to be as healthy and strong as possible for whatever lies ahead. Understanding dementia was just the beginning of my journey, but it was a crucial first step. Having this knowledge helped me become a better caregiver, a stronger advocate, and a more prepared family member. To help you on your journey, I've created some free resources. You can download PDF documents that include a contact list template for medical appointments, valuable websites and phone numbers for support services, and a room-by-room home modification checklist to make your home safer for someone with dementia. The link is in the description below. I also want to recommend my book Navigating Dementia Together by Ellie Summers, available on Amazon. It came from lessons learned in my caregiving experience. Remember, always consult with medical professionals for diagnosis and treatment decisions. But know that understanding what you're facing is the first step toward providing the best possible care for your loved one. You've got this, and you're not alone. Please like and share this video. It will help others in your situation to help their loved one. Subscribe and share comments on your experience as well to help our community, and thanks again.